Welcome back. Students in Venezuela are peacefully protesting in defense of their human rights. As they protest, government officials hit, arrest, torture, and shoot at the unarmed students.
Here at FAU, the student community is concerned with the situation in Venezuela, and they're trying to bring awareness of what is taking place there. Betsy Vidal has more.
The past few weeks, students have been protesting peacefully against the regime that currently rules in Venezuela. President Nicolas Maduro's legitimacy has been questioned since the fraudulent elections in April of 2013. Since he took over power in the country, inflation rose by 50%. Essential products such as medicines, milk, and toilet paper, among many other, are extremely difficult to find, and violence is unbearable, as over 25,000 people died from homicide in 2013. Now, students protesting unarmed have been kicked, tortured, detained, and killed by police officers and government officials. Violation of human rights in Venezuela is evident.
The Venezuela before, it was a Venezuela where you can go to study, you can go to the university, and not have to worry that somebody was going to come in with guns and point them at you and tell them, give me your things, and you're supposed to, give your cell phones away, give everything away, and you're studying. You're in a university and you're studying. You're not supposed to be worrying that somebody's going to come in and try to kill you.
Innocent lives of protesting students have been taken since February 12, 2014. Marketing student Basil da Costa was shot on the back of his head by a police officer and died instantly. His motive to protest was for democracy and liberty in Venezuela. Later that day, Robert Redmond, the student who carried da Costa's deceased body to the hospital, was also shot and killed by another government official after protesting peacefully and unarmed. His last public words on Twitter were, "I have been hit on the back with a rock, inhaled tear gas, and carried the student who was killed. What have you done?" In the past weeks, the number of injured protesters only keeps rising as government armed forces insist on abusing their power over civilians through the use of violence. Opposition leader Leopoldo Lopez was detained for disagreeing with the government and for allegedly calling for violence in the country, while in his speech he only called for peace. Violation of human rights continues in Venezuela, as protesters won't give up until dictator Nicolas Maduro resigns. Everywhere around the world, people protest for the recovery of peace and for human rights in Venezuela. At FAU, students organized a peaceful protest on Glades Road across from FAU's main entrance.
The civil rights have been violated right now. They're protesting peacefully in Venezuela, and some policemen, Cuban military, is shooting at them and basically violating basic civil rights.
Venezuela is an occupied country. It was occupied from inside out. I mean, it's the government brought in the Cubans, and the Cubans are now the ruling party in Venezuela.
Both FAU students and people in the community of Boca Raton are concerned with the violation of human rights in Venezuela and gathered to bring awareness to the events taking place the past few weeks. Protests will continue around the world until the government in Venezuela resigns. For OwlTV News, Betsy Bedell.
Thanks, Betsy. We hope Venezuela will find an end to the violence soon.
In other news, FAU students prepare to elect their new president. The fiery debate touched on important issues that need to be addressed by the next president. Mariona Marshall was there to tell us all about it.
Hey Owls, it's Mariana Marcellos, and we're at the Boca Raton campus for the presidential debate, and I'm about to interview 3 of the candidates, and so let's see what they say. Students, faculty, and staff gathered at the Lifelong Learning Center to hear what the candidates had to say. Each candidate expressed vibrant ideas on ways they would enhance FAU if elected president. I'm here with Michael Cepeda, and the first question that I want to ask you is, what makes you qualified to be the next president of FAU?
Well, I believe what makes me qualified is the fact of my proven track record of how I've affected the student body previously. One of the things that I've done is I've actually started a new program through the library called the iPad rental program. Basically, all you have to do is you go to the library and you can check out an iPad just like the laptop. I've also been a founder of 2 programs here on campus. One is the Lambda Tau chapter of the Sigma Chi fraternity, and it also is the Owls Care program through the Office of Health and Wellness Education.
Well, parking is an issue here at Boca Raton campus. So my running mate, Amir, came up with the idea of having counters in the parking lots and in the parking garages. So when you pull up to the parking garage, you'll see, oh, there's only 4 spots available, and if somebody pulls in, then you know you only have 3 more spots. So that way it actively helps the parking problem.
We want to improve our dining options. A lot of students have expressed to us that the dining options are not up to par or just aren't what their cup of tea is, and we really want to try and put a Chick-fil-A in our Breezeway cafeteria, which is very exciting and a lot of work, but Patrick and I are really working hard and advocating for it.
Students learned more about each candidate at the debate. Now it's up to the students here at FAU to choose the next president of the student body. You can vote at myfau.edu on February 25th and 26th. And this is Mariana Marcellos from OwlTV. Back to the anchors.
Thanks, Mariana. Now, Camilla Namba will update you on the latest social media trends.
Hey Owls, Camille Namba here to talk to you about what's trending this week. As we all know, Twitter is one of the most booming media platforms in the world. Something that some of us didn't think about is how politics are able to play a role. This week I met with Dr. Kevin Wagner, a professor in the political science department here at FAU. I caught up with Dr. Wagner to discuss his new book, Tweeting for Power, and his thoughts on how politics can play a role in social media. Take a look.
The growth of social media, people follow it a lot in entertainment and even in the news business, but in the political world it's become very, very important. It's a way that politicians have begun to reach out to constituents, to voters, that gets them to bypass the media and speak directly to their voters, and also for the voters to speak directly to their politicians, which is one of the things that's changed. Is it allows candidates without as much money to reach large numbers of voters. One of the interesting things in the book that we talk about is that you can see the effects, but the effects are limited because the number of people on Twitter isn't that high yet. The number of people on Facebook is much larger, but the number of people being involved with political action on Facebook is still somewhat limited. We expect in the next 10 years, maybe even sooner, for more people to become engaged and active with politics online, and that's going to change how politicians have to interact and respond to us.
Thank you, Dr. Wagner. We really appreciate your time. You can check out more news and highlights on our Facebook and Twitter page. And now let's take a look on
my name is Pierce Sargent, and I am here to give you the sports highlights of the week for OwlTV News. The men's basketball game against Tulsa did not go very well for our Owls, falling by a final score of 71-52. There were some bright spots, however. Justin Rathington had another near double-double with 10 points and 9 rebounds. DeAndre Johnson also contributed 12 points to go along with 3 assists. The game was tough for our Owls, but they look to rebound Saturday against North Texas. That's it for now. Back to the anchors.
Well, Owls, thank you for joining us once again.
We'll see you next time on OwlTV News.
Don't forget that you can always stay informed by following us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.